Hi everyone, I'm Rosemary, and today I'm going to be painting this Huggable sloth figure. I did my sample on one of them, and I will finish the other one in this video for all of you kids to see. This is for the kits that you picked up at the library. You should have a base coat of a bottle of brown in your kits with a little larger square brush, and you can paint the whole entire piece in this lighter brown color that's in that bottle. And then all these other colors are put on top of this base coat of brown. So that I already went ahead and did that on the entire piece. I finished one side so that you could see it finished, and I'll finish this side in the video so you could see how to go about it. Now, the first thing I would do is, if you have a sponge, get a sponge and pick up some of the darker brown that's in your strip of paints and put it on the sponge and blot some of it out. You don't want it to be really, really heavy on there. You just want like a very meshy, holy sponge. Okay, and what I did is on his body, I sponged some of this brown color because it's not a textured surface down here, so I just wanted to give it some kind of a textured look. Don't pounce too hard. Don't forget his arms. And you don't have to do the head. I just did his, his arms. Along here, and his body. Okay, you see that? So you can see this one is wet and this one is it's dry. It'll dry a little bit deeper looking. You put as much of that on it as you want. You don't have to go on to the hair because I did that in the white or the face, but do it on the arms. Okay, and that gives you like kind of a little textured look on there. All right, now put your sponge in water right away, because if you leave the paint laying in the sponge, if you wanted to use that sponge again, the paint would dry hard in the sponge. So you want to get that sponge cleaned as soon as possible. Okay, so now I think we'll do the face. Now let's do the white next, because I like to go from the lightest color to the darker color when I dry brush, because when you dry brush, you don't put any water in your brush. So you can use that same square brush that you have, the larger one, put a little bit of paint in it, take some of it out, and go against the grain, which the detail is going vertical. So you want to go horizontal across the grain so that you leave the darker brown, the brown that you put on as your base coat, you leave it showing in the crevices, so that you're not completely painting the piece white, you're highlighting the raised areas with the white. And I'm going to do this all around. If it gets on his face, it's okay, because we're going to be putting like a beige color on his face. Now, this is your piece. You don't have to do it exactly like I did it, but I'm just showing you how I went about doing it. Now, you see how that adds to the character of the piece by having the crevices stay in the darker brown and the raised areas in the white. Again, a little bit in your brush. And you're using a square brush, which is fine. Okay, but make sure you take most of it out. You want really nothing. You want to get the moisture out of the brush. And go side to side horizontally against the vertical detail that you have there. You can put as much white as you want on it. You could do it 2-3 times. Every time you do it, if you don't have a lot of white in your brush, or if you don't have a lot of any of the color in your brush, each time that you do it, the white becomes whiter. And any color that you use, the color will get sharper. You could see it right here on the edge. Each time you do it, you get a more vibrant color. It doesn't matter what color you're doing. If you do it 2 or 3 times, and you put on very little each time. Okay, now I also, I think that's what I did. Now the other thing I did is I put a little bit of beige in the belly, not the white. I was thinking I did the white. So now I have the beige here, which you have in your strip of paints. I don't wash my brush. I go right from the white to the next color in the brush. Okay, so I do it once or twice to work out the previous color. You're not using water. And I'm going to pounce or dab on the belly. There's very little belly showing here. And I do that so that I leave the brown in the crevices to make it look like an antiquing. See down here, like I leave the brown showing between their 2 bellies? Okay, there, and I did a little bit up under the neck over here. Okay, can you really see that? There you go. All right. And then we're going to do that on the face also. So now on the face, I'm pouncing it on the face. I'm not actually painting it on. I'm just pouncing it, dabbing it, because I want to keep brown separating all my colors. So I don't go right to the edge of the white. I leave the brown in between. And that gives you like an antique look. And again, across the mouth, I leave the brown showing, the dark brown showing in the mouth. So all of that base color that you did works to your advantage when you just pounce your colors on or dry brush them on. You don't have to butt your colors up against each other. You can get it on the nose because we're going to be doing the nose in a darker color, so it really won't matter. Okay, so there we go there. Now you can see this face is a lot lighter because I did it quite a few times. So again, put the color in the brush, take it out, and do it a second time. And each time you do it, your color gets more vivid. You can see it already. It's starting to get a little bit more solid. Okay, and you can keep going till you get it as light as you want. Okay, you can get it as light as that, but I'll stop on that now. Okay, so we have the white, we have the flesh, and then I have this golden color I gave you, and we're going to be doing their toenails. You could use your smaller brush, their claws, I guess it's called. I might have used a different color. I think I used a different color, but you have the color that I did on the first one in your kits. And it doesn't matter. Everybody's bodies are different colors, so it doesn't matter. I gave you this color, which I think is light umber, Mako's light umber. But this time I grabbed golden ochre, which is a different color. But it's the same thing. You're doing it on the claws. And I'm going to be taking the smaller brush to do this. And are there claws in the back? Yes, don't forget the back. So now this, because it's going over the brown, again, I'm leaving brown showing in between the three claws that they have. I think they're actually called three-toed sloths. I find the third one. Okay, so that's only one coat, and each coat you do, again, the color will get a little more vivid. So I'm going to go down here to where I started. I would do it 2 or 3 times over the brown. Okay, so now the second coat down there is a little sharper color. And I'll come up here and do this one. It's hard to make out some of these, but you just have to ad-lib it. These are weird. These 3 here, it's hard to make out. You just have to shape them. Oh well. And then the ones on the back again, on this claw, right here. But you get the idea, so you do them, okay, a couple of times until they look neat. Now, if you think that you're not happy with the way they came out, you want to reshape them, just take your brown, the brown that's in the bottle, and go back in between, like now I'm going back in between and shaping them a little bit better, so you can go back with the brown and reshape them. But always remember that your colors have to dry before you can put one color over another. So as long as the claws dry, you can go back in with the brown and touch it up. Okay? Now, let's see, we have nose. I'm going to make the nose on the second one a little smaller. I think this nose came a little big on this one. So I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller, and you control that because the nose you can make as big as you want. See if I can do this with you looking at it upside down this way. So when I did the nose, I painted the black, and then I dabbed a little bit of the brown in the center of it. Sometimes I know even with dogs, their noses have that little worn off look in the front of them, like right in the center. They have big noses on these guys, huh? And then I'm also going to take, if you want, you could just leave the brown in the mouth, but on this other one, I actually painted it in. So you have that nice fine brush. Roll it to a point. And you can do the mouth. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the eyes. And I just, whatever paint was on the eye, I just left it and just did a round pupil and then outlined it. Okay, so you just do as best you can, do a circle or fill in the whole eye. You could also fill in the whole eye in the black. I should have done the eyes first because now I have to lean on I lean when I do my painting, and I can't lean on the nose because the nose is still wet. Okay, and then I also outline the eye, roll the brush to a nice point, and you see how I outlined these eyes. I came down a little bit and followed the crevices that are there. Okay, so this one I just did the outline on. And I'll do the outline on the other one. Don't have too much paint in your brush when you do this outline. Just roll it to a point. Okay, so there's the eyes. Okay, and what I did with the eye also, as I went back in with the white and put a little highlight, see the little highlight here and here? I'm going to be doing that on the other one too. And it depends on which direction the light comes from. So on this one I have the light coming from the right, so I will also do the same thing here. Okay, so I just did two little highlights in the other eye. And it starts to come to life. And the only other thing I did is I took a little bit of the brown. Some of the brown. Tap it into that same brush, and you see how the center of his nose has a little bit of brown on it? Just tap a little bit into the center of this nose. Okay, it kind of tones it down a little bit. All right, so there's the sloths, the Huggable sloths. They're kind of cute. Kind of cute. So have fun, enjoy painting them, and enjoy your summer. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye-bye.